Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel here on We the Dreamers. I'm Kate, and today I'm excited to talk about vision boards and creating your vision for the new year. Now, if you're watching this video and it's not the beginning of the year, this is something you can do literally any day, any time of the year, whenever you want. I'm a huge believer in just creating your vision, designing your vision for whatever you want your fresh start to be. That can literally start anytime. So right now it's the beginning of a new year for me. I'm creating a vision board for my life, but truly anytime you want to create a vision for a fresh start, you can do it. So for me as a designer and an artist and a very visual person, creating a vision board is like an indispensable way to really visualize what I want to manifest in my life for the next season of my life, for the next year of my life, whatever it is. You can create a general vision board about your life. You can create super specific vision boards. I like to do that when I'm designing a new room, or if I'm designing a trip, you know, like if we're planning a new trip, I like to create a vision board for those very specific things. But it's also really fun to create just a general vision board of what you want your life to feel like. Sometimes those general overarching visions can really be super powerful. So our channel, We the Dreamers, is all about helping you design your space and design your life and really just helping you live well in your home and in your headspace. So creating a vision board is a pretty central part of that. So first you want to decide how you want to make your vision board. For me personally, I most of the time like to create digital vision boards these days because I love that you can just drag anything the World Wide Web has to offer onto your board. That's definitely something that is really cool. As somebody who wants to have a lot of options to choose from, you can pretty much drag any and everything your heart desires onto a digital vision board. But I'm also a big fan of going old school, getting the scissors out, some glue, and feeling like a kid again, and creating a little cut and paste situation. So however it is that you want to create one, there's no wrong way to do it. I usually like to use a program called Milanote to make my digital vision boards. There's a free version that lets you use up to 100 images, which is more than enough. Actually, definitely don't put 100 images on your vision board or you will probably be overwhelmed. But it's cool. It lets you doodle and draw and you can put text over it and stuff. This isn't sponsored by Milanote, but it's a great program that's worked pretty well for me so far, and I like to use it for the most part to create any type of vision or mood board that I'm making in a digital way. So what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll create a new board, and once I have the new board created, I will pretty much just go to town. I'll pop on over to Pinterest. What's cool about Milanote is you can just click on anything on Pinterest or probably any other website. You can just drag stuff onto your board. It's super simple. I also really like to use images from my own life to create vision boards because I think that on one hand, it's sort of a gratitude exercise, but on the other hand, I think that it helps me feel a deeper connection to the board, to see a picture of, oh, here's a picture of my dog on the beach, when we took that road trip a couple weeks ago. That's something I want to do more of this year. So having it be my personal dog and a picture that I personally took, I like to pepper those types of photos into my vision board as well. So totally up to you what you want to include on yours, but I like to sort of have a mix of photos that aren't mine and then photos that are mine. So here are some prompts to help you decide what to add to your vision board, because as we covered, a digital vision board, you pretty much have the whole internet at your fingertips, which is a tad overwhelming. So some questions that I like to ask myself when I'm getting started on one of these boards are things like, what do I want to invite into my life this year or this new season? What kind of person do I want to be this year? What kinds of activities do I want to make space for in my life this year? What colors are resonating with me? What places do I want to travel? What areas of my life do I want to focus on most this year? Those are just some prompts to get you started, but there really is no right or wrong way to do this. It's kind of just a matter of vibing with it and choosing stuff that speaks to you. So depending on the vision board, I tend to approach this one of two ways. First of all, I'll either take some time and really journal out the answers to some of those questions. Like, what do I want to invite into my life this year? What areas of my life do I want to focus on most? I'll kind of spell that out for myself in words on a piece of paper or in Notion or something, and then I'll go seek out images that reflect those answers. The other way I like to approach it sometimes is literally just browsing through stuff and dragging things that speak to me without thinking too hard about it. I think this is kind of a fun way to do it because it kind of lets your intuition guide you, and you just pull things that speak to you. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I really like that color. Oh, wow, those flowers in that field are really pretty. You drag them all in, arrange them on your board in a way that feels cool, and then afterwards, I like to kind of go through each image that I picked and journal out, like, why did I pick this? What does this represent to me? A lot of times I think doing it this way is kind of a cool backwards introspective way to approach it. So really, however you want to approach it, go for it. I like to do it both ways. It kind of depends, but for this board, I'm gonna just create a folder on my computer that has a bunch of images that kind of speak to me, that I'm vibing with. And then as I drag them onto my board, I'm gonna kind of reflect on, what does this mean to me? What do I want to cultivate in my life this year that this image really represents? Also, if you're someone who likes to pick a word for the new year or the new season or whatever fresh start you're kind of cultivating, this is something that you can add onto your board and kind of think about what images represent that word. For me this year, I chose the word persist because I'm really trying to be more consistent in my life and in my work. I'm somebody who tends to get really excited about a new project and, throw myself into it. And then if I don't sort of see the fruits of my labor pretty quickly, I can really lose steam and get discouraged. And it's just something that I think is a personality trait of mine that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I really want to cultivate more persistence in my life and my work, particularly my creative work, where I'm just delivering things consistently without necessarily having to hit a benchmark every single time I create something. So I'm gonna add persist. I also like the word explore. I'm gonna add explore too. I kind of have a hard time committing to one word for the new year. I like to sort of have a backup word or like an adjacent word. And for me, I'm really trying to explore different passions in my life this year, but also explore different places. I'm really excited to travel to some countries I haven't been to before, and so I want to cultivate a sense of curiosity and exploration in my life this year. So as I'm creating this board, I am going to start pulling some images that just speak to me from a color palette standpoint and sort of see where it takes me. I'm gonna add a couple of things related to cooking and making fresh pasta because I just got a pasta roller for the holidays and I'm really excited to try it out. It's something that I really want to get better at. So I'm gonna add some stuff related to cooking and being more intentional about cooking at home. As somebody who's an artist and a designer, I'm always drawn to color swatches and paints and images that sort of evoke a sense of creativity for me. I think that I'm someone who's always trying to be more fearless in my creativity and my sort of design work because I am somebody who's very creative, but I'm also a huge perfectionist and I really get in my own way a lot of times. And so I like to pull in images that just remind me of the joy that being creative brings me. I also want to do more painting this year. I'm a painter and it's something that I don't always have a ton of time for, but I really want to do more of it. And so I'm gonna pull in some stuff that reminds me that I want to do more painting this year. Another thing that's really important to me is to keep nurturing my French language practice this year. I worked really hard to hit one of my major goals last year, which was to get a diploma in French language proficiency, and it was a huge kind of obstacle for me, and I was really proud that I ended up hitting that. So I want to keep up with my practice of the language, and so I'm going to just add some things that remind me of why I love learning French and speaking French and just all things related to French culture and the French language. I'm going to add that here because for me that represents just keeping up with my French practice. And I'm also going to add just something that to me represents sort of physical wellness. I feel like I'd like to focus more on my yoga stretching practice this year. I'm definitely not good at yoga at all, but it's something that helps me feel centered and grounded, and I feel like I just want to focus on showing up for myself, even if it's just for a couple minutes a day to stretch and take some time for me. Another thing that I really want to focus on this year is nurturing friendships and spending more time catching up with my friends. I feel like a lot of my friends and I are scattered across different parts of the country and even the globe, and sometimes it can just be easy to let life get in the way, and all of a sudden 6 months go by and I realize I haven't caught up with someone I really care about. So I want to take some trips with some friends this year and just really make sure I'm intentional about spending time catching up with friends. So I'm going to add some things that really feel like they speak to me on that front. I love the fact that you can draw on these. I love to doodle, and so I'm adding my words to my board here: persist and explore. And I'm also gonna add a quote that I feel like resonates with me this year, which is from Simone de Beauvoir. And it's "J'accepte la grande aventure d'être moi," which is I accept the grand adventure of being myself, which I'm trying to do a better job of being comfortable being myself in my life. Never easy, but I feel like that's a good thing to add. I could kind of tinker with this forever and, you know, perfect it and scoot things around, but I'm gonna call it. I think this feels really good. It feels complete. It feels like it really represents things I want to manifest in my life for this year. And so I am going to save it and I'm going to put it where I can see it every day. So once you have your vision board done, make sure that you make it visible for yourself. It's a vision board after all, right? You want to be able to see it. And so if you made a physical board, obviously pin it up on the wall, put it in your office right in front of you. If you made a digital board, you know, put it on your proverbial walls, put it on your wallpaper on your phone, or make it your desktop background. I've mentioned this in other videos on this channel before. I, every season, like to make a new mini vision board, mini collage for the background of my laptop and a different one for the background of my desktop computer, because it just helps me feel refreshed and it helps me feel newly inspired. So it's sort of my, you know, digital bulletin board, and I like to change it out every season so that it feels refreshed. For my yearly vision board, I am going to make this the lock screen on my iPad. And I'm also going to use an app called Widgetsmith, which will let me create a big photo widget on my iPad home screen, on my phone home screen, where I can put this vision board right front and center so that I see it every time I open my phone. So I'd love to hear from all of you about what kind of stuff you like to add to your vision boards and what you're hoping to manifest and cultivate in your life this year. Let me know in the comments, join the conversation, and definitely let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos about designing your life and designing your home, and happy vision boarding. I'll see you all in the next video.